Show me the money.
That's it, brother, but you got to yell that shit.
Show me the money.
I need to feel you, Jerry.
Show me the money.
Jerry, you better yell.
Show me the money.
Welcome to Tech Bites with Ash, where we discuss trends in digital technology that support true business outcomes. I'm Ashu Bhatia, a consultant, an author, and a practitioner of all practical insights on your technology investments. Well, hello there, and welcome back to my channel, Tech Bites with Ash. As we just saw in that funny video from Jerry Maguire, show me the money is a very powerful emotion. It truly is about understanding where are you going to build the capabilities and what's in it for you, right? Same things for technology, same things for digital transformation. In fact, same for any kind of transformation, but specifically when you try to build capabilities using and leveraging technology, a lot of people within firms ask questions or around bottoms-up business case, or sometimes even a top-down approach to at least understand what investments will be made, what will they get, what kind of competitive advantage are you creating with that kind of, investment? And there's a lot of due diligence typically done. As you see here, there's typically 4 environments where there's much more done, in this kind of realm. The first is whenever there's a little bit of an M&A and you're acquiring companies, you try to see synergies, you try to see what investments were already made, and you have to look a little bit under the cover from supply chain, customers relationship management systems, ERPs, or any kind of legacy and or modern technology that has been invested to really understand how to bring it all together. Another scenario that I've typically seen is when a CIO is doing scrutiny around why is the cost of technology so high, right? In typical terms, there's 2 to 4% of revenue that goes into technology, spend. Depending on the industry, depending on the company, and depending on the growth curve, that is typically looked at to understand why and how much are we spending. And sometimes, as you see, for any strategic project or general cost cutting, there's a lot of due diligence done for typical IT spend. So the idea here is that depending on the situation, your frameworks are going to be different. Sometimes you're looking at just pure technology costs, as you see here on the top left. It's all about, facilities, hardware, software, licenses, operating costs, etc. Sometimes it could be around how you service a technology, whether it's service management or delivery. And if you're a mature organization and you have a decent shared services or allocation mechanism, then you look at the value chain and say, what about R&D? Where do you make? Where do you supply? Where do you sell? Service, support functions. You can allocate costs and understand where the capability is being built. And lastly, of course, sometimes from a technology, the way it's kind of organized, you say, hey, is it back end? Is it front end, etc. So depending on where all this is coming together, you use the right framework. But the key is you need to understand typically how is your budgets and your spend distributed in this, discretionary versus non-discretionary spend. And what that means is, are you trying to build new things or are you trying to keep the lights on? Keep the lights on is still very important. There's a lot of things to be done in email servers, telephony, security, etc. But then how are you transitioning the split to kind of new age, sustaining, cutting edge technology and trying to invest in new capabilities? You see the split here. That's not very typical from the experience that I've seen and some of the podcasts that you would have witnessed. It's much more on the non-discretionary side. So a lot of companies struggle with 90%, 85% of spend there and very little on the discretionary side. So transitioning and pivoting is going to be the key thing when you're kind of doing this analysis. And last but not the least, as you see here, when you do this kind of due diligence and you kind of map it to the business KPIs, what you discover is there could be some areas where there's much more discrepancy than generally spent on, right? And any area that you can highlight where you're 3, 4, 5 times more than the industry average or best practices, that's an area to go more deeper and kind of come up with more value creation opportunities.